person who said that he won over me as president in 1992. Kasi alam naman ninyo, nanalo ako dahil sinuportahan ako ng mga kabataan. I won in the voting, but I lost in the counting. That Mr. Ramos and Speaker De Venecia messed up our tax system on their way out. As a result, tax effort went into a free fall. The tax to GDP ratio was a disappointingly low 12% in 2010 and 12.2% in 2011. It should be increased by 5% to bring it back to around 17%. Dapat ganun kataas ang pakolekta mo. Pagbagsak yan, ibig lang sabihin, naglagay yon, kaya hindi makolekta. Wala kang pera sa kaban. Dahil hindi raw nagbabayad, hindi raw nila makita, hindi raw nila makompute. The third basic policy is that the government should adopt a multi-year budget. Most of the problems in government, poverty, poor literacy, inadequate health care, crumbling infrastructure, peace and order, unfair justice system, and so on, cannot be solved in a year or two. The government should be looking at a multi-year budget system rather than the annual budget process. The executive and Congress should agree on a common agenda for addressing past neglect in infrastructure, education, and health. The executive should submit a medium-term expenditure framework, and Congress should approve it through a joint resolution. The multi-year budget will force the executive to reveal what it intends to do during the incumbency of any administration. The fourth basic policy is that the Philippines should invest heavily in public infrastructure to make up for past neglect and to put the country on a higher growth path. Sadly, the Philippines has not invested enough for a long-term growth. Capital formation has been neglected in the past, averaging around 1/5 of gross national income from 1986 to 1998. This is low by Asian standards. Worse, capital formation has dropped sharply in the last 6 years. You're all familiar with these statistics. A country that does not invest enough cannot be expected to grow rapidly in the future. And there are some unmistakable signs of economic decay, the crumbling infrastructure, and the thinning and unreliable power supply. The fifth basic policy is that the country's political leaders have to fix the dysfunctional political system. What's happening in our economy is going beyond economics. The sad state of the economy now and what appears to be its future trajectory is the result of a flawed political system, rampant rent-seeking, ibig sabihin corruption, and a political and economic elite that has the propensity to resist change. Ay natural, mayaman na kasi sila. Ayaw nilang baguhin yan. Bakit pa nila baguhin? Sila na nakaitaas ating lahat. That is why they are so bitter against me. Because they know that I know what they are doing, and I know my law. That is why there is a black propaganda campaign against me all the time that I'm in politics. Because I have to be removed. Ang gusto nila, yung hindi nakakaintindi. At tatanggap na lang ng kaparte. Yun, maligaya sila doon. Pero kung mag-ingay ka at mukhang maintindihan mo kung anong ginagawa nila, galit na sila sa iyo, dami ng black propaganda lilitaw. Yan ang problema natin. It is the elite that is choking the Filipino middle class and, needless to say, the lower class. In short, bad politics and the avaricious political and economic elite have triumphed over good economics. Much has been written about constraints to growth, but no one is bold enough to write about the elephant in the house. An elephant in the house, ibig sabihin, a fact that is staring you in the face. Kakagatin ka na lang, hindi mo pa rin nakikita. When bad politicians and their counterparts in the private sector remain satisfied with the status quo, it would be difficult to expect real reform. Basta mga nakakataas sa atin sa ngayon, namumuni sila, nagyayaman sila, makapangyarihan sila, yan ang kalaban natin dahil ayaw nila ng reforma. Bakit pa magreforma? Sila lang hari-hari eh. Kaya hindi tayo makakataas. Hindi natin kayang itaas ang ating middle class at ang ating lower economic classes o masa. Dahil pinipigil nila eh. This cozy relationship between bad politicians and business interests are reflected in many tax incentive laws, old and new economic zones, awards of government contracts, large and small, and appointments in key public positions. Ano ngayon ang sagot dito sa mga problemang ito? Do you know? I will just give you a summary. First, reform the tax system. Second, invest for the future. There should be higher and sustained government spending for education, health, and productivity-enhancing public infrastructure. Number 3, embrace meritocracy in government. Dapat pagalingan lang sa gobyerno, hindi palakasan. Kung nag-graduate ka, halimbawa, with honors, di dapat unahin kang i-appoint. Hindi kung sino yung nagkampanya para sa iyo ng halalan, maski gago yun. Magnanakaw, pangit pa. Dapat, anong grado mo sa Adamson? Cum laude ka ba? Magna cum laude ka ba? Yan ang sinasabing meritocracy. Number 4, transform the political system so that competence, public accountability, and good performance are rewarded. Naririnig na ninyo ang mga bagong appointees sa oposisyon sa gobyerno? Ang pagtatanong natin ay, saan siya nag-graduate? Nag-graduate ba siya with honors? Or scholar ba siya? Anong record niya? Nang estudyante siya? Anong record niya nang gig professional na siya? Respetado ba siya ng kanyang mga colleagues in the profession? Kung hindi, that's a political opportunist. So anong mapapala mo dyan? Anong maasahan mo dyan? 5, open up the Philippine economy to foreign ownership of land and foreign ownership of all forms of businesses, including the media. Yun ang problema eh. Ayaw nilang papasukin ng dayuhan, hindi naman sila magaling. Ano ngayon ang pag-aasenso ng ating lipunan? Dahil monopoliya ang gusto nila. 6, the government should stop borrowing from abroad until further notice. Every year our deficit, meaning to say, the difference between what our government earns and what our government spends is growing bigger and bigger. Plus, our foreign debt is growing bigger and bigger. Interest pa lang, hindi na natin nababayaran, principal pa. Kaya nakalibing tayo sa utang. I think that about 5 years ago, every child born in the Philippines was already destined to pay at least, I think, 12,000 pesos as a share in the foreign debt. 7, manage population growth. Ang dami nga kasing Pilipino eh. Hindi naman ganyan kagaling ating gobyerno na mabigyan nila ng sapat na serbisyo itong mga bagong panganak na ito. Mapa-eskwela man lang, mabigyan man lang ng mga training or seminars. Wala namang job opportunities, hindi naman kaya ng gobyerno gumawa ng mga trabaho. Kaya ako, I am the author and at the same time co-sponsor of the RH bill. We must pass the RH bill now, but that is for another speech. Yung ibang mga politiko dapat talaga na abortion. Not that the RH bill supports abortion, not so. That's a lie. But, parang ibang naglalakad-lakad dyan sa Senado kung minsan, isip ko, kung na-abort kaya eh. I do not want to end this talk on a negative note. There is hope for the Philippines, but only if our leaders do the right things. Economic collapse is not inevitable, but it is possible. But by failing to act boldly and purposively for the general good, the Philippines could fall further behind our fast-growing Asian neighbors. Many experts forecast that the world economy might go through a period of high volatility and slow growth in the year ahead. Magiging masyadong, as the French say, kamsi-kamsa, magiging unpredictable ang economic future of the globe. During the long recovery period, we should focus on rebuilding the country's crumbling infrastructure and on strengthening our weak public institutions so that the Philippines will be stronger, nimbler, ibig sabihin mas adaptable, and more competitive when world growth is restored. The present and future Filipino leaders, and I'm referring to you as future Filipino leaders, should design and implement a bold economic program with a clear understanding that such program requires strong leadership. Strong leadership. Pag sinabi kong ganito, ganito na yun. Tumigil na kayo. Isang imik pa, preso na kayo kaagad. Kasi masyado mahilig dumalda ng mga Pilipino eh. Dapat minsan lang. We should have strong leadership, a clear roadmap, an effective and competent government, leaders who will work for the welfare of the majority of the people rather than their own welfare, and a credible and well-performing legal system and regulatory framework. Di, ang hirap pala. Ganun pala ka-damage ang ating culture. We have a damaged political and economic culture. Paano natin gagawin lahat ito? Dahil ang tagal na natin nagdusa. Hanggang ngayon mukhang wala tayong pag-asa. Nasa sa inyo iyon. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen of Adamson University and your distinguished guests this afternoon, I tell you, to all your questions, my answer is, look into your heart, for the answer lies there. All that you need to do is to believe in yourselves. Maniwala kang kaya mo, kakayanin mo. Because the poet said, it matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Prove even only to yourself, prove to the Filipinos that you as a Filipino, you are the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. Thank you very much.